Hi guys, welcome to another one of my YouTube videos where I use exposure and response therapy to help treat my choking phobia. What's going to be happening today is it's a video. I usually don't make videos on Saturdays, but I'm making this video today because yesterday I didn't make a video. I like to make a video every 6 days a week. The reason I didn't make a video yesterday was because I had to do something very, very important in the morning. I had to go and help my brother with his car. He was getting it fixed. He likes to, mod it a lot with a whole bunch of different things like pipes and intake valves and stuff. So basically I helped him. I went to St. Catharines, picked him up, drove him to another place here in Toronto to help him with his car. And so that happened. So that's why when I came home, I was going to make the video. I said I'll make it and everything. And then I just kind of I don't know if I forgot, but I just didn't want to make it anymore because the whole thing happened with OCPD where it's the morning. I've basically, done my task for the day in terms of how I set my morning. And one of those things was to not do my anxiety. A, because it's Saturday, and B, because I already had something to do. So because of that, I ate a little bit during the day. I had a little bit of food. Not as much as I'd like to, and now it's early in the morning. It's about 7:30, 8 in the morning, and I'm gonna go. Basically, I wanted to get more than just this. I'm only gonna get 3 hash browns and a Coke. I wanted to actually get a McDonald's meal. It's just that A, I'm too hungry, and B, I want to start the day early because I want to start working early today. It's a Saturday. It's gonna be busy, and I want to be able to not waste the day playing video games and just getting high. I know I'm going to do that if I probably get up a bit later and, get my meal and then, smoke my weed. And the next thing I know, it's going to be 2 o'clock and I won't want to go to work. So with that being said, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm also going to after the exposure, I'm going to hopefully, what I want to do is talk about Islam and homosexuality and how it intersects. So we're going to do that. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm in the drive-thru and I'm basically just about to pick up my food. I'm just going to pay and then I'm going to get the food. And then afterwards, I'm going to be talking to the calibration of my choking anxiety on a scale of 1 to 100. And then we'll talk about Islam and homosexuality. So stand by, guys. Sorry, I said, "What are you doing?" Because it was this dummy. I thought he was gonna drive into the park, the drive-thru. He was literally parking. He's bringing his car right up into the front of the drive-thru, the exit of the drive-thru, and I'm thinking, what is he trying to do, right? So, okay, we're here. We got 3 hash browns, and the reason I'm picking McDonald's nowadays is because I want to win something from the Monopoly game. They have a Monopoly game till November 11th, and I am convinced. Okay, I've got it convinced in my mind I'm going to win something big. And I know the odds are I'm not going to win something big. But I say this to myself to make myself feel good. I don't know if it's a fake confidence coming to me or whatever. I just feel that I will going to win something big. I've already won a muffin and a small fountain drink. Okay, those are, I've been eating there for about 4 or 5 times now since the contest started. Another thing, this has helped me think. Whenever I want to get a Coke, instead of going to the convenience store, I should go to McDonald's. Large Coke, you get the free, you get the McDonald's, you get the Monopoly thing. Okay, and I'm convinced because this is a new McDonald's that just opened in our town. It's only about 1 year old. And it's the first Monopoly game here. So I think they might try to help us out, for promotions, coming to McDonald's in Milton. I know, stupid idea. Moving on. Let's talk about my choking anxiety. Well, first thing we need to do, this is called the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy channel, is we need to calibrate how much anxiety am I feeling right now about choking on food. Now, this anxiety doesn't have to be about other things. For example, the fact that you have existential dread, or the fact that you need to speak to your parents, or the fact that you need to go into a job interview. Those are the type of anxieties we're talking about when we're saying measure your anxiety level. When you're doing an exposure, the anxiety has to be correlated very closely, if not identical, to your exposure. So when I'm eating the hash browns that I just got, I have to calibrate my anxiety. I have to think to myself, what is my anxiety level of choking to death on food? Of choking on food. It's to the point where I would refrain from eating so that I wouldn't have to deal with the anxiety of having to, eat. So let's get that number. From 1 to 100, we need that number. 1 to 100, I feel my anxiety level of choking right now is a 10. And I feel it is a 10. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. I believe it's going to continue to be around a 10 forever. I don't think it's going to lower from a 10 to a 15 or maybe to like a 40 one day. I'm going to say 40. That's what I'm seeing in terms of a trend. I'm seeing a trend of it staying around low numbers and not getting any higher or lower than those initial numbers. And someone might think, well, that's like bad. Shouldn't it come down? Well, the thing is, if you keep doing it over and over again, what I found is that there's only so much of a limit. Because the human body, what it does with anxiety is it tells you that the fear you're feeling is not as bad as it should be. It's not telling you to not fear anything, because fear is normal and healthy and helps you get out of situations. For example, if someone's robbing you, like if you come to an ATM at night, right, and someone walks up behind you, you're gonna feel fear. You're not gonna feel like, oh, I'm just gonna not feel fear. It's just normal response to feel fear sometimes. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about anxiety, the heightened fear level responses. So that's why it goes down. It goes from a 10 to a 10 because it stays there. You're not gonna eliminate fear. You're gonna eliminate it to the best of your ability so you can continue with your daily life. In my analogy, you would just quickly, do your ATM stuff and rush out the door. Maybe quickly look over to see if the person is like a robber, like a homeless person, or maybe someone with a gun, or just looking menacingly. Anyway, that being said, with that happy note, let's begin our exposure. I said it's a 10, and I'm just not gonna stop, because once you have that number, you basically have to start the exposure, or the number can get going. Alright, here we go.
Shame before Allah. In other words, the sign that somebody has done this type of reflection is they have a haya with Allah. They feel ashamed before Allah, that Allah has done so much with them and they have not done anything for Allah.
أن الخواطر القلوب هي منبع كل ما يخطر القلب، هو منبع الخير ومنبع الشر. بالقلب الظاهر، ومن تأمل علم أنه يريد باطل، أن منبع الأعمال ومنها الآمر بالخير ظاهر، ومن تأمل ذلك كان حائرا يفرق بين الخير والشر بالخاطر من القلب. هذا هو الذي يفرق بين الشر والخير.
So the heart is the thing that differentiates between good and evil, and the source of all of these matters is related to the inrushings that occur to the heart. So the heart has these inrushings, khawatir that occur to the heart. It's like a guest that descends upon the heart, and there are different types of them. Inshallah, because we're not going to unfortunately have much time with Sheikh Khafri, so we'll just open it up for the last section, about 15 minutes before we pray Asr, for some questions. People have questions. ويذكر عنهم المتصوفة الذين يستقبلون ممكن يهملون واجبات.
أول ما يجب على المكلف وأفضل الطاعة وأفضل الأعمال تعلم العلم قبل كل شيء، فضل العلم قبل كل شيء. لا يقبل من العبد شيء ما دام يجهله بطل عنه.
So the question that Qais asked was about people like now what they call mutasawwifa. Imam al-Maqari differentiate between Sufiya and mutasawwifa. Mutasawwifa are people that يدعون الصوفية. They claim to be Sufis. And so one of the signs often of those people is that they'll do a lot of dhikr of Allah, but they ignore wajibat. And so he asked what's his opinion, and the Shaykh said that the first and foremost obligation on every human being is to learn knowledge before anything. And a human being is nothing until he's learned the fard ayn. He has no maqam, nothing with Allah. He's nothing. It's like an animal is the same. Because Allah has commanded him with a very minimal amount of taklif to learn how to do certain things. And the fard ayn, if he hasn't learned them, then he's living the life of just like worse than animals, because he's astray and he's not doing anything to get out of his error. And those people who learn knowledge, and Shaykh Wad al-Khadim mentioned many of the ulama, Imam Sha'rani, Imam Suyuti, all of the great imams of the science of the outward and tasawwuf all say that before tasawwuf there has to be fiqh. And if you don't learn fiqh before tasawwuf, then you'll go astray.
لا تصوف مع جهل فضل عنه. لا تصوف مع جهل فضل عنه. التصوف بعد معرفة العلم، بعد معرفة العلم. وأي علم وأي عمل صالح مضمون بمعرفة فضل عنه. لأن الصلاة والزكاة والحج والصيام هذه فرائض ما قبلها شيء قبل ظهور الوالدين، قبل ظهور الوالدين.
So even showing filial piety to one's parents, learning the fard is before that, the fard. In other words, Allah, the highest thing after tawheed of Allah that Allah mentions in the Quran is birr al-walidain. And yet, learning what Allah has commanded you to do as a fard ayn is over birr al-walidain. If you have not done that and you're taking care of your parents and that's preventing you from learning, then you're doing something that's wrong by leaving something's right. هي تسأل مثلا عن أذكار التي امرأة اللي في حي.
إذا كانت يجوز كل أنواع كل أنواع القرآن لا يجوز الخير لأنها ما كان مثلا رفض أما الأذكار إلا كآية تعود بعضهم معوضين بعضهم قالوا 30 آية كما قال الله تعالى إذا كحديث قال إذا كآية تعود كآية معناها سورة هذه بعضهم معوضين ويظهر كل هذا يتعرف عن القرآن.
He said that the adhkar that she can read all of the dhikr that men can do, but she can't read from the Quran. And then the khilaf in that of how much, like from memory, if she memorizes the Quran, then she can read what she needs to keep her her Quran, or if she's studying the Quran. But she cannot touch the Quran during her hayd, and she should not read it like extensively unless it's to maintain that she's memorized. Or like ta'awwud or ayat surah al-tabarak, for instance, she's reading, or if she reads like that. But other than that, she can read any of the ayahs of the adhkar, the ad'iyah, la ilaha illallah, salah ala nabi.
Being an American, I know a whole community, thousands of people who are hosted on because And I wonder what you think of, because I know the practical people are introduced to a lot of people, and how to approach those people when they act.
هو قال انه مثلا هو يعرفه كثير من الامريكان الذين يتقربون الى الاسلام عن طريق التصوف، يعني ما هم مسلمون لكن يسمعون عن معاني الروحانيات في الاسلام وعن هذه الاشياء، فهذا يقربهم الى الاسلام. فهو قال يعني كيف مثلا بالنسبه لهؤلاء احسن طريقه؟
يقول من أحسن طريقة لعبادة الله معرفة غضبه، وهؤلاء الذين أسلموا ويسلمون دائما هم أسلموا بفضل الله تعالى بسابق أجلهم أنهم سوف يسلمون بفضل الله، ما أسلموا بمجهودهم الخاص، ما أسلموا بمجهودهم الخاص، أسلموا بفضل الله تعالى سبقه إليه فأسلموا، وأفضل ما يرونه معرفة هذه الأحكام التي نتعبد بها، فمن جهل هذه الأحكام فلا عمل له صالح، لأنه إذا كان يقدر على معرفة هذه الأحكام يبدأ بها، فإذا أسلم يبدأ بها قبل كل وجوبا، ما دام الوجوب قائم مقدم على كل الأغلبية.
So he said, first of all, we have to remember that people are guided by the overflowing bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if somebody is brought to you for that, then Allah has brought him by his bounty. But he said that first and foremost, that we worship Allah with these ahkam. And that's what Allah has made binding upon us. And people who enter into Islam, the first thing the Prophet taught people was Tawheed. And then he told them that Allah has made 5 prayers incumbent upon you. That once they accepted Islam, they were told you have 5 prayers. So he called them first to the unity of Allah, and then he called them to prayer. And that's the methodology of the Messenger of Allah. And that's what we should be calling people to, is to praying. In this culture, there's a whole false or pseudo-spirituality, which is the idea that you can have haqiqah without sharia. And it's a dajjalic phenomenon. It's misleading people, and it's taking them away from the truth.
Okay, guys. Finish the exposure. From a 10 to a 9. Fairly consistent with the trends. So, I'm gonna go take my medication, come back, and then I'll continue my video. Still here, guys. I just had to do something real quick. And I was also checking my Monopoly, see if I won. Didn't win anything, but I got one more for one more. So I think I just need one more for like 2 or 3 of them, and I need like one more for like to win. So basically, I don't know if I'm gonna win, but maybe. I just have a good feeling, so hopefully I will. Okay, so everybody knows Islam is against homosexuality. There's sexual basis for this in the Quran, right? The Quran talks about the story of Lut and how God basically admonishes those who quote unquote approach men rather than women, unquote. So this is the basis, the sexual basis for the act of sodomy. And it gets quite interesting because in modern implementation, there was this idea that well, in the modern implementation of the Sharia, there's obviously different source materials. For example, we have what I just said, which is the Quran. There's also the Hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that says that he was asked, what is the Had punishment? What is the Sharia punishment? Like the capital offense? Like what is the punishment for someone who commits sodomy? Someone who commits, I don't know the exact words, I'd be wrong, but like anal sex, or someone who is a luti, or someone of the people of Lut, homosexual. What is the punishment for that act? And he said, kill the one doing it and the one who it is being done to. So we have that hadith. I've heard clarifications from that from an imam who's on the Sufi side, who would say that hadith is weak. He doesn't believe it. He believes to take life is one of the most sacred things in Islam, and that Islam really prohibits taking life. So he doesn't believe that in that hadith. Because, for example, the Quran says that to kill one person is to like have killed the entire humanity, and to have saved one person is to have saved the entire humanity. So there's this huge, maxim within Islam to not kill. Then we have other people who believe, who I like to follow and subscribe to, who would affirm the stances of the earlier classical Islamic scholars, which is the opinion of Imam Maturidi, and basically the dominant opinion, I would say, of most of the Islamic creeds, the Maturidi, Ash'ari, I would even say the Hanbali. I'm not sure about the Shia, but I'm 98% sure this is the dominant theology of most Muslim groups, is that if you reject whatever is necessarily known of the religion, you become a non-Muslim. So for example, if you were to say to somebody, I believe drinking alcohol and Islam are perfectly alright, and Islam allows the drinking of alcohol, you'd be considered a non-Muslim if you went to a judge and affirmed this. If we lived in an Islamic court, not Islamic country, but like an Islamic court, like a true Islamic court, where Islam spread, you could say, organically within the community, just like at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then eventually ended up in this huge type of empire. If we were in that situation, and I said to the judge or the cops at that time, I believe Islam allows alcohol, or I believe Islam allows stealing, and you're questioned for it, and you won't renege on this belief, you would be a non-Muslim. So that's the classical interpretation of that. And of course, homosexuality is one of those things that is necessarily known of the religion. So I've asked this with a scholar, and he said, yeah, basically, if you were to say, for example, if you were to say to someone, I believe Islam allows homosexuality, Islam and homosexuality are okay, Islam permits homosexuality, you'd be considered a non-Muslim if you were to say that, if you were to believe that. I don't believe that. I believe Islam does not allow homosexuality. There's a great debate about what those words mean. What does homosexuality mean? What does it mean to be a homosexual? What does sodomy and anal sex mean? Can someone have a relationship without sex? These are interesting questions, and that's the current knowledge that I know, and the current understanding I try to follow, which is I don't uphold that Islam you know, allows homosexuality. At the same time, I can't fight who I am. I am a bisexual person, so there's gonna be this tension there for basically the rest of my life. And that's what Islam kind of thinks about it. There are other opinions. For example, some people say you should convert. Kind of like, I know one guy, he was like, he was he was kind of Sufi, more like liberal Islam. I was kind of astonished about what he said, though, because it's at the same time, it's not very surprising, considering it's basically well within mainstream Islam to believe this. The idea that if you're homosexual, you can cure yourself, right? Pray a lot, read Quran, do like exorcisms and Quran recitations over you, you know, ruqya as it's called, to get the sexual, you know, struggle, compulsion, desire to quit, you know, to get that away from you. That's an idea. I don't recommend it at all. I believe it's actually quite harmful. The American Psychiatric Association says there's no proof it works, and it actually could be harmful. And in California, if a child goes to a psychiatrist who's under the age of 18 and tells the psychiatrist, I, you know, am gay, he cannot, it's against, by law, for him to recommend conversion therapy as a treatment option. So, you know, as I said, and I've had opinions of people, like I know of opinions of people who believe it basically shouldn't be discussed or talked about, and you know, it's kind of like, you know, it becomes cultural, because the official Islamic stance is we don't judge these people. We don't know, right? These people, you know what I mean? We segregate them and we just don't judge them, and that's nice. It's just, why do we have to have special consideration for something that, you know what I mean? Like, it was not my choice. It's like I was born and then they put me in this group, the segregated gay Muslims, separate from the Muslims, right? But that's a choice one makes, to be in a group. I chose to be Muslim. I chose to be, you know, sitting here talking to you guys right now. These are choices I made. If someone just said, because of your genetics, you have to sit in a different car and make a different YouTube video, you'd be like, why? I have to make those choices, you know what I mean? Like, no, that's the way it is. Unfortunately, we don't subscribe to that science. That science is pseudoscience, and we believe that you choose to be this way. So stop choosing to be this way, you know what I mean? So that's the harshest opinion I've gotten, you know, and then it gets worse and worse when you go to like Saudi Arabia. They just become medieval. They stone people and kill them, basically. They execute them by cutting their heads off for being gay. I highly recommend a documentary called A Sinner in Mecca. It's on Apple iTunes. He's basically a gay Muslim going on Hajj. He's recording it secretly, and it's quite powerful and moving, because he explains how there was a guy there who basically was convicted of going to a disco club or something, and he was found with another man. So the punishment was execution. They basically had a public execution where they tied him behind his back, told him to kneel, had a sword, everyone was watching, in a football stadium of all places, you know, just like the Taliban, right? And cut the head off for being gay. For being gay, you know, those are harsh opinions, if you ask me. I don't know where the textual basis for those opinions are. I understand, you know, suppress it, understand the temptation. You know, if you want to think you can cure it, you know, go all for it. It may help you in terms of a placebo effect. Don't kill them. Like, it's not, to be gay is not contagious. It's not like a mad cow disease or something, you know? Really, it's na'uzubillah. It's really just, God forgive us. It's just what things we do to each other. Well, that's basically what I want to talk about in terms of homosexuality in Islam. And this whole idea that I'm going to have this kind of tension within myself for the rest of my life. I'm not going to one day wake up and be like, oh yeah, it's resolved. No, I can lie to myself and resolve it certain ways, by like being this good Muslim, but it always keeps coming up. Because your body is telling you, unless you resolve this, your mind is telling you, unless you resolve this, you're not gonna, you know, be fully happy with who you are. You're not gonna be fully happy with your life choices, you don't feel like they're as meaningful as they would be if you're making them. Like, I get it. You follow Islam and you follow what people say. Sometimes the best answers, though, to questions are the ones you find out yourself. Right? You struggle and make the mistakes, then you come to the conclusion that you were wrong, and you correct yourself. I think it's really important, that journey of self-discovery. Instead of just having the dogmatic authoritarian rulers tell you what to do, and, you know, that's the easy way, and that's the easy way out, to have it all spelled out for you. I know exactly what to do, and that's one of the beauties of Islam. We have that easy way, and if you want to take it, take it. I don't think there's anything deviant about taking the easy way. I just think the journey to self-discovery is equally as important, and therefore that tension will always exist between authoritarian dogma and one's personal quest to self-discovery. I hate making videos Saturdays, so I'm gonna end it here. You guys, went from a 10 to a 9. You know, I'm up in the morning. I plan to go to work later. It's gonna get high. I'm gonna sit, probably, I don't know, sit, watch TV or play Xbox for a while, and then go to work, basically. And it's getting to the point now. I got my last disability yesterday. It's gone. No more money is coming from the government to me. I still need to pay $180 every month for my phone and $70 every month for my internet. So that's 180 plus 70, 280, 70, 60, 50. I'm designed to come up with $250 a month just to break even. That's not costing for fuel, which is $40 every 2 weeks. So it's 80, 340, 330, 320. That's not counting like shaving cream or pimple cream. It's another $40. So we're at 360. That's not counting you know, cigarettes and weed. It's at a couple hundred. 560 right there, right? So we're gonna have some trouble. You're definitely gonna see me getting more and more poor in these videos. That's why I'm working more and more and more to kind of, like, I'll still be poor, but if I work a lot, I would be even, because it makes up for not working because I was in a disability. So hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully I'll break even. That's my goal, to break even these past few months, to get back into the routine of working. You know, I know it's winter and I hate it, but I'm gonna be honest, most people don't like working in winter, and so you get a lot more orders. Most people, like, they don't like getting cold, and I get it, but I'm from Edmonton. It doesn't bother me that much. Like, I'm from Edmonton, you know, we're used to I see those peasants on the Edmonton Weather Channel minus 30, minus 40 wind chill in the morning. It's like, yeah, guys, this is nothing, you know. It's here, it's like minus 20 or something. It's like, whatever, guys, whatever. Come back to me when you go to Edmonton winter. Edmonton winters are brutal. Brutal. I'm telling you, it started snowing. I was a kid one time. I'll end with the story. I was maybe around 10, 9, 8. I was walking around one day. It was Halloween. I remember, of all days. And I was walking, and I think I had a jacket on. It was cold, right? It must have been freezing. Because after I'm walking around, looking around the Halloween decorations, like, oh, I'm going to go out later for trick-or-treating. It starts snowing. It starts snowing October 31st, dude. And I don't remember a day where there wasn't snow on the ground that year till about March, you know, late February. That's Edmonton winters, boys. That's Edmonton winters. So you guys come in Toronto and say, oh, it's so cold, I don't want to go out. It's like, I don't want to do it. Well, take the money, just put a jacket on, put the toque on, you're fine. But I get it, I hate winter too. I'm more of a summer guy. Just because you don't have to put the jacket on, you can have less stuff on you, you know, you feel more free. The heater's on always, you know, and I'm just having the AC on. Oh, the AC. I miss you, AC. Let's have a moment of silence for the AC. Alright. Thank you, guys. And remember, guys, stay with it.